The White House finally admits it. Social Security shakeup. Did they lie to us again? Now you gotta admire how the White House carefully words their statements, as they're really good at avoiding statements that are set in stone. I mean, I'm impressed, but not in a good way, but still impressed. While they said that the initial reports from the Wall Street Journal of China having a spy base in Cuba was inaccurate, they also confirmed after that it does exist. So what kind of bizarro world are we living in, huh? With many critics saying that President Joe Biden's time at the White House is numbered, the sitting president wants to shake things up with Social Security in hopes of possibly getting some more support for 2024. Now I got all the changes that he wants in this benefit, so definitely stick around to the end for that one. Former President Donald Trump continues to make headlines as he has pled not guilty to all 37 charges in his classified documents case. Now this could be a huge game changer for him if and only if he's actually found not guilty. Can you believe the backlash that this is going to have on the current administration? But hey, if Trump is found guilty, he could very well be spending the rest of his life in prison. Some critics, though, point out that the investigation with Trump is going blazingly fast. Meanwhile, the one with President Biden and his family is going at a turtle's pace. Do you guys agree with that? All right, guys, let's get into the updates. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below. All right, guys, so the investigation regarding the Biden family business dealings with overseas partners and how the then Vice President Joe Biden may have been involved in pay-to-play schemes that gave him around, $5 million. It's still going on, with some people saying that it's being slow walked. Well, a recent development may speed things up, as a former business partner of Hunter Biden has now been subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee. So here's what Chair James Comer had to say about it. Quote, Devin Archer certainly is a person of interest in our investigation. He was someone that was on the inside with the Biden family. He knows exactly the level of participation that Joe Biden had within his family's influence peddling schemes. And we just want to give him an opportunity to tell us exactly what he knows about what the Bidens did to receive all of this money that they're getting from countries all around the world, and what level of involvement Joe Biden had, end quote. So Comer also adds that they've been dealing with a double standard when it comes to the Department of Justice, with Trump's investigation being pursued with such vigor. Meanwhile, you got the Biden family and the evidence against them, it's just pretty much being ignored. He said this, quote, what we found out from the FBI, they sat on evidence for years now that would implicate Joe Biden in a bribery scheme. Surely to goodness, the FBI knew just from the bank records that the banks had turned into the Treasury Department that this family was involved in money laundering through shell companies. That's called racketeering. And surely to goodness, they know that this family hadn't paid taxes on that money, and that is the only way that this family could have been receiving that money is if Joe Biden were providing something else of value to these foreign nationals. And here the FBI had all along a document, and I'm going to say that there are many more documents in the FBI alleging there's a recording and even more evidence of a bribery scheme. And yet they did absolutely nothing. Now compare that to what they've done with Donald Trump, end quote. Now Trump, on the other hand, has just pled not guilty to all 37 federal charges, which includes unlawfully retaining government secrets and conspiring to obstruct justice. He also made a couple of stops to address his supporters, with some gathering in his golf club for a fundraiser in Bedminster, New Jersey. The former president then aired his grievances about the charges against him. According to him, quote, today we witnessed the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. A corrupt sitting president has his top political opponent arrested on fake and fabricated charges in which he and other presidents would have been guilty of, right in the middle of a presidential campaign in which he was losing badly, end quote. Now, if found guilty, Trump may face decades in prison, something that he can't afford to do if he's running for president for 2024. But, and this is what supporters are talking about, if he's not guilty, then what will happen to the United States? Will people believe his narrative that the Department of Justice has been weaponized against him, that the FBI has been protecting the Biden family? I mean, whatever happens here may shape the entire 2024 presidential elections. What do you guys think? Now, although President Biden may want to keep things as it is with him in the Oval Office, and it seems to be making some moves that are aimed toward receiving more support from the American people, mainly from those who receive Social Security benefits. As the Social Security Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust faces depletion by 2033, the president is calling for a couple of changes that will help to bolster the funds in the trust and possibly help fill the $22.4 trillion funding shortage. Now, there's 4 important changes that he wants for Social Security, starting with a payroll tax for income over $400,000. Right now, any earned income below $160,200 is subject to 12.4% payroll tax, and any earnings above and beyond that are not subject to any of these taxes. So the plan is to tax earned income above $400,000, which leaves the wages above $160,200 to $400,000 untaxed. Next would be a change to the way that the COLA increases are calculated. With the current calculations, Consumer Price Index for urban wage workers and clerical workers, or the CPIW, that's being used, but it doesn't accurately reflect the lifestyle and the expense of retired people. So if the CPI for the elderly is used, it could mean that retired Americans could receive more on their benefits. Does this sound like a good plan? Now, the third shakeup to Social Security would be to increase the PIA, or the primary insurance amount. And the last would be to increase the special minimum benefit for lifetime lower wage workers. Now, with all this, do you guys believe that this should pass Congress? Or much like student loan forgiveness, is this just all another big announcement that's pretty much going to end with the Biden administration getting rejected? Now, on the topic of announcements, listen to what National Security Council spokesman John Kirby had to say about this China spy base in Cuba.
The administration now says that China already does have this intelligence facility in Cuba. What can you tell us broadly about the threat posed by this facility, and just bottom line, how concerned should Americans be that the Chinese are listening to us from this facility?
Yeah, so look, I think you can understand why we're not going to be able to get into too much detail about our own counterintelligence efforts. But as we communicated over the weekend, this is not a new development. That China's been trying to achieve some intelligence gathering capabilities in Cuba and frankly elsewhere in the hemisphere. And that from day one, when we came in, we took this issue seriously. We've taken some steps to try to mitigate the vulnerability of those activities, and we're going to keep doing that. And the last thing I'd say is we're confident that we can continue to protect our nation's secrets in this hemisphere and beyond, and that we can continue to defend the country appropriately.
Do you guys trust their word at this point? I want to reiterate what the White House said, that this report about Cuba was inaccurate one day, and then in the next, they confirmed that it was true. I mean, it's just confusing to hear how they play with these words, huh? What are your thoughts on today's updates? Make sure to share them all in the comment section down below. You know what else I find confusing? That we continue to be told of inflation going down, but prices just continue to keep going up. Now, I read your comments, and I can see that a lot of us are spending so much more just to get less and less. And it's not the way to live, especially in the United States. Look, if you want a little bit of help in understanding how to strengthen your cash flow, drop me some comments down below. Maybe I can share some ideas with you guys. And if you want to learn about making multiple streams of income through side hustles and small businesses, or if you want to get into the investments game with the stock market or real estate, then feel free to get in contact with me. You can drop me a comment down below. I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comment section down below. The road to financial freedom, it's not easy, but it's definitely going to be worth your while. Now, at this point, you should see 2 videos above me. Go ahead and click on those videos right now. And before I go, please don't forget to leave a like for the video, share this video on your social media platforms, subscribe for your daily dose of truth. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.